Hey, it's Talking A. Tonight, you're going to fall asleep the exact same way billions of people have for thousands of years, and almost none of it is what you'd expect. Let's actually dig into this. You already know when you sleep. Nighttime, roughly the same hours, most nights. What almost nobody asks is why it looks like this at all. One long block, lights off, alone or with a partner, roughly 8 hours. Because for most of human history, none of that was true. But the moment I realized the truth, it somehow changed how I think about my own sleep. Before we get to how humans slept, there's a weirder question underneath it. Why do we sleep at all? It's expensive. For 8 hours a night, you're blind, defenseless, and doing nothing productive. Evolution usually punishes behavior like that. Scientists actually argue about this. One theory says sleep evolved to conserve energy when it wasn't efficient to be active anyway. Another says it's about safety. Staying still and hidden was safer than wandering in the dark. And a newer theory says the real driver is the brain itself. Sleep is when your brain clears out waste and locks in memories from the day. The honest answer is probably all three, working together. But the point is, sleep isn't just rest, it's a trait that had to earn its place in evolution, the same way eyesight or walking upright did. So once sleep existed, early humans still had a problem. Predators don't stop hunting at night. Sleeping in a group, out in the open, was dangerous. The solution was simple. Nobody slept the whole night at once. Someone always stayed up, watching the fire, watching the dark. Sleep was shared and guarded, not private. It looked more like a rotating shift than a bedtime. Even when it was safe to actually sleep, it still didn't look like ours. Historical sources, old diaries, court records, even medical texts from a few centuries ago describe something called first sleep and second sleep. People would sleep a few hours, wake up for almost an hour in the middle of the night, then go back down for a second stretch. And that waking hour wasn't a problem to fix. People used it, praying, thinking, talking quietly, even visiting a neighbor's house. Waking up at 2 a.m. used to be Tuesday. Now we call it insomnia. What do you think about the broken night pattern? Worse, or do you think it is better than nowadays? Wait, it gets weirder. None of this happened randomly. It was built around one thing: light. Our bodies run on a circadian rhythm, an internal clock tuned almost entirely to sunlight. Bright light said, be alert. Darkness said, wind down. For nearly all of human history, that was the only signal the body had. No alarms, no schedules, just the sun. Then humans started making their own light, and the whole system started drifting. First fire, then oil lamps, then electric bulbs, and now the glowing rectangle basically everyone falls asleep next to. Each step pushed bedtime a little later, and slowly, that broken first sleep, second sleep pattern faded, because artificial light kept telling the body it wasn't night yet, even when it clearly was. But here's the part most people get wrong. It wasn't really the light bulb that killed segmented sleep. It was the work schedule. When the Industrial Revolution demanded everyone clock in at the same hour, sleep had to be squeezed into one tidy block too. 8 hours, all at once, so you could be up and functional for the whistle. That normal 8-hour block you've heard is healthy? It's not really biology. It's a factory setting that stuck around long after the factories changed. To be honest, this 8 hours normal sleep is one best thing I could bold out from industrial revolutions, in my opinion. And even that one block at night idea isn't universal. Plenty of cultures never fully adopted it. The midday siesta in parts of the Mediterranean and Latin America split sleep into two chunks on purpose: a shorter night's sleep plus an afternoon rest, timed around heat and work rhythms. Some traditional societies studied by researchers today still show flexible, broken-up sleep patterns that look a lot more like our ancestors than our own. 8 hours straight isn't the human default. It's one option among several that happen to become standard in industrial societies. Here's what modern sleep science adds to all of this. Sleep isn't a single off state. It cycles through real stages: light sleep, deep sleep, and REM, each doing different repair work. Deep sleep is largely physical repair. REM is where a lot of memory processing and emotional sorting happens, and more recent research points to something almost strange. During deep sleep, your brain runs a kind of cleaning cycle, flushing out waste products that build up while you're awake. You're not just resting, you're doing maintenance you can't do any other way. Which brings us to right now. We're the first humans in history falling asleep next to devices actively designed to keep our attention. Bright screens, notifications, blue heavy light late at night. Insomnia and poor sleep are dramatically more common in industrialized, screen-heavy societies than in the less connected populations researchers still study today. We didn't just change when we sleep. We build an environment that actively fights the system evolution gave us. So the next time you're wide awake at 2 a.m., staring at the ceiling, you're not broken and you're not failing at sleep. You're doing something close to what humans did for most of history. We just forgot we used to call it normal. That's the real story behind something you do every single night without thinking about it.